One of the most common questions parents ask about music education is, what's actually the best age for a child to start piano lessons? Well, I understand why this question matters so much, because many parents worry about starting too early or too late, or choosing the wrong approach entirely. Some parents worry a child may lose interest. Others worry the child isn't naturally musical. And sometimes parents are simply trying to understand whether piano lessons are genuinely worth the investment long term. But after years of teaching students and watching children develop through music education, I, from the bottom of my heart, believe the conversation is much deeper than age alone. Because the best age is not only about numbers, but it's about readiness, attention span, emotional development, curiosity, confidence, and the learning environment surrounding the child. In this video, I want to break this topic down honestly and practically, based not on myths or pressure, but on what genuinely helps children succeed long-term through music education. And HIKARI dreams are played every day. So, is there a perfect age? One thing I think is important to understand immediately is there is no single perfect age that guarantees success in music. I have seen children begin very young and thrive. Recently, I had a parent call me and they said, my child is 2. My child has not reached the age of 2. And this is not just one parent, there are many parents. They ask, can my child start getting introduced to music? Because they have the interest, they have the curiosity, they like singing, they like doing all these things that are related to music in one way or another. They look creative. And so we have picked on that and we have started working with these children. And for some, it's pretty amazing what these 2-year-olds, less than 2-year-olds, can actually do. We have adults who struggle. There are other children who thrive. There are adults who thrive. So there's no perfect age per se. So I've seen children begin very young and thrive. And I've also seen older beginners progress beautifully. What matters far more is readiness, consistency, encouragement, and the quality of the learning experience. That said, there are certain age ranges where children are often more developmentally prepared for structured piano learning. For many children, ages 4 to 6 can be a wonderful introduction to piano. At this stage, children are naturally curious and absorb information very quickly. But lessons at this age should feel engaging, interactive, creative, and developmentally appropriate. Young children usually learn best through movement, listening, rhythm games, imitation, and short focused activities. One of the biggest mistakes some programs make is expecting very young children to learn in rigid adult-like ways too early. Children do not have that capacity or the mental ability to concentrate for long periods of time. At HIKARI School of Music and Languages, one thing we strongly believe is that early music education should build enjoyment. It should build confidence, curiosity, and positive association with learning itself. Even something very simple like recognizing high and low sounds or clapping basic rhythms begins strengthening listening, coordination, and concentration in young children. Could have rhythm and they clap back, exactly the same thing. Simple note patterns, playing, something like Mary Had a Little Lamb. with only these 3 fingers, 3, 2, 1. And in fact, when they're little, they can even use 1 finger just to figure out where the notes go. Playful interaction, all these things, they do help them develop their listening skills, their concentration skills, their playing ability, their oral skills, basically. That's what we're looking at. And for many children, ages 7 to 9 is often where structured learning becomes much easier. The attention spans are usually stronger, fine motor coordination improves, reading ability becomes more developed, and many children become more emotionally ready for consistent practice and goal setting. This age range is often excellent for long-term musical development because children can begin understanding things like discipline, gradual improvement, and independent learning more clearly. But the emotional environment still matters enormously, because children progress best when music feels encouraging rather than pressured. We do this all the time. We do not work towards doing exams. We do not pressure our learners to do exams. We actually bring together these ideas of music education, fun aspects of music education, into their learning environment, so that they do not, their main target is not exam. Yes, we do have exams. We do have all these exams, and we do have ABRSM, we do have LCM, ABRSM meaning Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music, and then we have the London College of Music, which is LCM, and we have UNISA, University of South Africa. We have many other exams, whether we're talking about practical theory or even music production as an exam. All these exams we have, but we only use them when the students are ready and they're encouraged and they feel like, they're ready to do these exams. Bottom line is, whatever they are learning, they need to enjoy it. So this next part is where many parents become unnecessarily worried. Is it ever too late? Many parents worry. Did we start too late? In most cases, the answer is no. Children can absolutely begin piano later and still develop beautifully. I have seen older beginners become highly skilled musicians over time. What matters far more than starting extremely early is maintaining consistency, curiosity, enjoyment over the long term. Because music is not a race. And honestly, comparing children too aggressively often removes the joy from learning entirely. I started learning music professionally in terms of reading music and playing the instruments. I started at the university level. Was that too late? Ask me. I wouldn't say so, but because I had that interest and I was always practicing and working really hard, I had the interest. I maintained it. Consistency, curiosity, and enjoyment of a long term. So remember, once again, music is not a race. And comparing children too aggressively often removes the joy from the learning entirely. So what matters most? In my experience, the children who benefit most from piano lessons are not always the ones who start earliest. They're usually the ones who feel supported, enjoy the process, develop confidence gradually, and stay engaged consistently over time. Because music education is about much more than technical ability. It is about concentration, it's about confidence, patience, creativity, emotional growth, and learning how to persist through challenges. Because this is a big one. They might go through all these things, and if they're not persistent, then it's all in vain. Those qualities matter enormously for life, enormously for life. I have students who have been growing through that, and right now, you see them performing, they meet challenges, they are not backing down. They are working really, really hard. This is something I always find fascinating. The biggest difference usually isn't talent. It's consistency and encouragement over time. You get a good teacher who encourages you and gives you the environment to grow, and you are determined and you are consistent. Growth is unbelievable. I also think that parents sometimes underestimate how important their role is in the learning process. Parents, listen to this. Especially in the beginning. Now, I'm going to repeat this because it's so important. It's not just about the teachers and the school. Parents, you sometimes underestimate how important your role is in the learning process. Children progress best when learning feels supported, encouraged, and emotionally safe. Small, consistent encouragement often matters more than pressure. One of the best things parents can do is help children enjoy the process rather than obsess over perfection. Word, there are things that are so competitive in this world. And you find parents are always comparing each other, or comparing the children to their neighbor's child, especially when they're taking, these lessons. And they're always putting children under pressure to become better and better than the other child or the other children. And they're always like, some parents, not that I'm pointing at anyone, but I have seen this, that some parents just go on and on and on about how their children are better than the other friends or the other children, or why can't you be better than, why can't you, all those. Don't put the pressure on the children. Support them. They will grow much, much more than children who are consistently under pressure to perform. Well, at the end of the day, I don't believe there's one magical age that guarantees musical success. What matters most is helping the children develop confidence, curiosity, concentration, and creativity, and a healthy relationship with learning itself. And music education can become an incredibly powerful part of that journey. So if this topic was helpful, we've also written a much deeper article exploring the best age to start piano lessons, child readiness, concentration, confidence, and long-term musical development. I'll leave the full article and additional educational resources from HIKARI School of Music and Languages in the description below. And if there are any other topics you'd genuinely like us to explore, whether music, creativity, language learning, confidence, or child development, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.